Hello and welcome everybody to Howdy Partner, our weekly Twitch series hosted live here on the AWS Twitch channel. So my name is Jerry Tejada and I'm a partner solutions architect here at AWS. And joining me today is Eli. Eli, you want to say hello?
Yeah, I'm Eli Peveto. I'm on Jerry's team and also a solutions architect here with the partner org. And we're happy to see you all today for some Howdy Partner, where we'll have some great demos here, and we'll be here to facilitate some questions and help everything run smoothly.
That's right. And I want to emphasize a word that you said, Eli, which is demos, because that's really what Howdy Partner is all about. It's a showcase of our partner solutions, the amazing solutions that our partners build on AWS. So at the beginning, we're going to provide a little context with a few slides, but promise you that the bulk of today's episode is going to be all demos because we want to see it live and in action. So just a quick note, part of what we do as partner solutions architects is, all kinds of activities related to our partners. We help build POCs. We help do enablement activities and thought leadership and all of that good stuff. So we're all in on our partners, and that's a lot of what we do. So yeah, that's enough of us. I'm in New York. Eli, where are you tuning in from?
I'm tuning in from the good old state of Texas in Austin.
All right. Fantastic. So yeah, let's bring in our partners today, which is Innoactive. And they're going to tell you a little bit about real-time 3D streaming, which is a very hot topic that we're seeing today with AWS customers, specifically in spatial computing. So we'll welcome them onto the stage. Daniel, hello. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I'm good. Yeah. Thanks.
We're doing great. And remind us, where are you tuning in from today?
I'm in Frankfurt, Germany. Happy to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Far away across the pond. I know it's a bit late for you over there, so we really appreciate you being on the show. So we're really excited to see what Innoactive is all about. I know me, I'm part of the spatial computing technical field community at AWS, and I know Eli is a spatial computing enthusiast, and we're trying to recruit him over. So we are all in on spatial, and like I mentioned before, real-time 3D streaming is super popular right now. Customers are really demanding it. So yeah, if you wouldn't mind, tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about Innoactive.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, my name is Daniel. I'm founder of Innoactive, and what our mission is that XR is still too complicated for the masses. And I had a discussion with one of our customers in large scale manufacturing company, and they said that still in design review only 20% of the decisions are made in using digital technologies, supported by digital technologies like VR or XR, and the rest is basically still using physical prototypes to make decisions. And the reason is that VR is just still too complicated for the normal end user. And our mission is to make it easy. And one of the tools we are using or we're giving to the hand of our customers is XR cloud streaming to make the technology available for everyone. So I could show a few slides, but any questions from you guys anywhere? So any questions? I think the format is just type in the chat and we can interrupt at any time.
Definitely. Thanks, Daniel, for bringing that up. Please do ask questions. This is really meant to be live. We want to hear your questions and we want to ask them right then and there. So don't be shy, ask away, and we'll get it answered by one of us here on the screen. So it looks like we have no questions yet, but we've got a few folks tuning in we got one from Louisville and one from Austin and Seattle as well. So welcome all. We love to see it. We love to see everyone spread out all over the place. It's fantastic. Don't be shy. Tell us where you're tuning in from.
So I'm just continuing to show you what we mean with making XR or VR simple and usable by the masses of users. The enterprise use cases in large companies, they are all about 3D, heavy 3D data. But the devices out there, the people have or are buying or are able to use, they are not capable of using, like rendering those data on the devices. And what our platform does, it's by essence, you use the devices you already have, like your smartphone or your desktop computer, your notebook, and get a link shared by someone or with a meeting invite. You click the link, you come to our platform, and then you just click the button Run in Cloud. This could be, for example, a VR training application like this one. And you just click the button, and then you just enter a 6-digit code, which is shown in the headset. And then it connects to your headset, so it does log in the user automatically on the headset, and then the VR training, and like in this case, is streamed into the headset. So there's really nothing which can go wrong. Let's say, or at least if you compare this to the traditional method that you have a desktop workstation below your desk, which needs to be maintained, the wires are breaking down and so on. So it's a lot of problems are removed there. Yeah, and yeah, quickly about us. So we are a Germany-based located company. I'm founder, as said. It's Benedict, our CTO, and Hervé from Fontaine, located in France. And our customers are mainly like very large enterprises who have the scalability effects of leveraging XR at scale. Like many use cases, many applications, many users, and our value is that we make them able to deploy XR at scale. And partners, I will, as you have requested demos, I have probably the most demos you have ever seen, I guess. Some of them are live, some of them are pre-recorded because just to be efficient. But we will touch a lot of different use cases in mainly 3 focus verticals. But the common denominator is obviously XR streaming. Just that you have seen, like to reinstate the problem we are solving is that we put the complexity of the industrial metaverse as it is today. I'm not talking about like meeting in a virtual room in the web browser and chatting with people to hang out. And that's not what we understand as an industrial metaverse. For us, industrial metaverse is a digital twin of a complete factory, or like a training which is in an oil rig where the data is really critical and huge and changing all the time, probably also. And this needs to be made available to a lot of people who don't have the hardware to do that. That's what we understand on the industrial metaverse use cases. And our solution is basically we put this in the cloud, all this complexity, hardware and software, and then make it available via a simple platform. Not only unifying the hardware complexity, like because one application maybe needs like a bigger GPU, other application needs a smaller one, but also the software complexity. So think about Unreal, think about Unity, think about Omniverse, think about Enscape. Like all those use cases, they are like expert tools mostly, and we made them available for end users just by clicking it and accessing it from the web. So let me give you a few details. So just a few examples of our customers who are using this, our platform. Like Volkswagen is using it for production, but also for production planning to remove errors earlier in the process. ExxonMobil is using it for deploying training globally, but also AEC, like architects, are using it to visualize the projects to customers, improve also decision making. Decision making is always the thing. So for me, if you ask me what's the benefits, always about improving decision making. And that's how companies can, from my eyes, increase the value there, the time to market, and the value they bring to their customers by letting their employees make better decisions. Yeah, and here you can already see our ecosystem, and I have for almost all of those ecosystem partners, I have demos. So how these applications can be streamed. And I will focus on those which are maybe not so much known because they are very valuable, because everyone knows Unity, right? So and Unreal. But others like Omniverse are new. Also like tools like Sim2 or Cavernous, they're new. And I think it's beneficial to show what these platforms can do in combination with our platform. So all those applications are Windows-based. They require a desktop PC, huge graphics card, and those can be streamed to any device. That's what we're aiming for. So either MetaQuest, Focus, XR Elite, Pico, also Windows like PCs, and now with the Apple devices also around the corner. So let's see what we have here data on. So stay tuned. And what we do from a product perspective, we combine very strong technologies, and that's now where I'm so happy that we are together with you guys at AWS on this format, because our platform is, although it's multi-cloud, so please apologize for putting Azure and Google Cloud also there. GPUs are a scarce resource, so we want to provide the best experience, to ensure that the customers will get a GPU when they need one, but our platform is mainly optimized for AWS. Also using Amazon DCV, for example, for app streaming, and obviously NVIDIA Cloud XR for VR streaming. I will come to that later. So I'm not sure if there are any questions in the meantime. If not, then I will just start with maybe let's dive now into the product, because one thing is the topic of cloud streaming. The question is this available at my location? And this is something I usually show directly in the product. Let me just do this right now. So here we go. Yeah, as you can see here, we have that's our platform. That's like a sample installation, and all the different applications the users need to be able to be accessed by the users. They are displayed in a Netflix style with like a grid. So and people just need to, for example, if I want to launch this car configurator here, I just hit the button and then it's starting in the browser. That's the most simple use case you can think of. And if you want to share this with someone, then you just send the link to this application and then you're good. And obviously our target user needs to be authenticated because we are secure by default. It's like an enterprise, but that's exactly the critical thing. You don't want to be as secure as necessary and as accessible as possible. That's what we achieve. So as you can see here now, this is now streamed from, let's have a look, AWS in Frankfurt, because I'm in Frankfurt. So if you guys would start this would be deployed on demand at an EC2 instance close to your location in the US. And that's now what I wanted to show also live in the product. Let me shut this down again. And AWS is expensive at the end, yeah.
Definitely is. Those GPUs are not cheap. Does that happen automatically, like launching the session based on the user's location, or does that need to be configured by the creator of the stream?
No, by default it's automatically selected. So we run some latency checks, what's the best location for the user. It's also obviously dependent on which application I'm launching. So this application now, I think is configured to be running with a T4 GPU. So it runs basically everywhere, but some applications require a stronger GPU, and then the region might be a bit further down, further away. But at the end, especially for VR streaming, and this is one of the next things I will show you, the latency is critical. So the further away the edge location of the EC2 instance is, the higher the latency. And like the Cloud XR streaming technology from NVIDIA, what we are using, it accommodates some parts of the latency. So like 50 milliseconds is okay. But if it's over 100, then it's not fun anymore. That's why we have extremely high count of regions activated and offered. Let me check if I can see this here. Okay, that's not the best example. Let's go for this one here. So here you can also see the server location wizard. So normally this is just like automatically finding the best location. But I also can override this manually, because our first customers, the champions, they're always experts. They want to play around. They want to test how the system behaves in different situations. So
I have a quick question on that.
Yeah, please.
So while the regional aspect is automated in the background, but you do have the option to more manually do it if you wish, how much customization is there on given ones, and how much of it is just set up all for you? Or is there like a base part that's like overall for the one click, but then there's like certain levels of customization similarly to the location part that you just talked about?
Well, there is some customization for the end user, like in this case, so I can just...
Whenever you're starting the browser link type thing.
Yeah, so the end user can override the setting. If it's a professional end user, they want to, maybe they're traveling to a different city and they want to start the session already there for their meeting, or they want to test something. But there's also a configuration for the system administrator, for the platform administrator, who can define, do I want to use Google Cloud and Azure as well? So so there's also an equivalent setting in the backend where you can, I will show this later, where you can just deactivate, let's just do this right now. So because we are on an AWS show at the end. And then, yeah, we only have our AWS locations there on the map. So yeah, and then as you can see here, we have very good coverage in the US. Thanks for adding local zones, guys. AWS local zones are very good. It's for the long tail of the users, very important for VR streaming. So we have even, let me check where this is. We have even coverage in Honolulu. Think about that.
Right there.
I can even now start a session in Honolulu on AWS. I can try to stream from there.
Yeah, no, that's
definitely. Oh, you go ahead.
No, just saying that's part of the better together story that we try to tell here at AWS. You know, we have the infrastructure, we have that edge computing available, but if no one takes advantage of it, then it's just useless. So it's great to see that you're making great use of all the main regions, but also the edge locations available on the AWS infrastructure.
And I find it interesting to like show. And I find it interesting to show like because I've always known that we have such a very extensive global infrastructure presence, but it's interesting to think with how VR, with just how important the lowest latency possible is for it, because just a fraction of milliseconds can lead to people having less of a good experience, that the more extensive infrastructure that we have gives an extra benefit to like spatial type workloads that are running in the cloud, which I find interesting.
Yeah, I think the combination of, let's say, the streaming technology accommodating for some larger latency, but with a very large regional availability is a winning combination, because you cannot optimize in one direction only. It's all moving targets. There are no new regions, new cloud providers, new GPUs. It's even like now we will talk about one topic, which is GPU power. So there are like several tiers of GPU power, and for some use cases you need to have very, very strong GPUs, which are obviously more expensive. It's also a cost optimization topic to be able to configure exactly which application requires at minimum which GPU in order to not waste money. Like from your perspective, obviously it's maybe something different, but from the end user, from the customer, our customer's perspective, they want to make sure that they can deploy on-demand GPU as efficient as possible. Because your value proposition is to ensure they do not have to buy a dedicated GPU under the desk for each user. So it needs to be on demand, and that's what we provide together with AWS infrastructure. Yeah, so that's the end user setting for the regions, and I started now a simple app streaming app. This is not innovative, but it's what the most people do today. Let's be honest. So we are still just because the devices are not available for the masses. The most users are streaming just apps to the browser, but then giving people the opportunity, if they have a MetaQuest or an equivalent headset, to stream also into VR without needing anything else. That's then the next step. So let's now do this next step. Let's start a VR training, simple one, the one I've shown beforehand, and just stream this. So what the system will do, it will ask me to connect my headset. So I take my Quest. So obviously our client needs to be installed on the device. So it shows now a 6-digit code, which you cannot see, but I have a video later. So that's it. All right, now the session starts. I can put off my headset, wait until the session is there. So what now happens is that the application gets from our content management system or application management system gets pushed to the EC2 instance. And then once this is done, it's also then the stream in the CloudXR stream in the headset is started.
And is there anything that the headset needs to get installed, or is you go into like a Safari browser or a Google browser or something in your headset, and then you click on the link, or you get an email? Or I'm curious how that setup does go on the headset.
That's just a APK, Android APK, which needs to be either sideloaded to the device, or it can be installed via MetaQuest App Lab or the Vive Business Store. That's very simple. Or it can be deployed with any mobile device management system the companies anyhow are using with their VR headsets.
And for the audience, so an APK is basically, it's like an Android client application. Is that right?
Exactly. So it's just an Android app is built for VR. So now as the session is ready, I put on my headset, and then the application is starting. In theory.
And even if this does just take a couple minutes, I know that having something that's just from like a click and a load can definitely save you just so much effort with how much it can just be on like commercial devices for like setting up the games you're working on or whatever. VR can definitely be pretty finicky being a newer technology. So anything that can be just like a link is definitely very cool, even if it just takes a couple minutes.
No, I think I know what the issue is as far as I
would assume from a user perspective, this probably saves a lot of space on the headset, as opposed to having to download projects. These headsets are not only limited in compute capacity, but also in just storage capacity. So I can see this, saving a lot of space, so you don't have to use up all your valued storage on the headset. Still being able to access this library of applications.
Or even something that's just higher than what the headset's capable of storing if it's a big enough application.
It is, yeah. the amount of applications uploaded to our platform is all the time growing with every day, and all the versions which are uploaded, they are like the cloud has a lot of storage and the devices don't, and devices are getting smaller and smaller and smaller, and if you think about what the Meta Orion prototype which was shown, if this is the future, then I can't see a future where digital twins, like, which are made important for decision making, are gonna be rendered on the device. Let's do the following. I will show you this later. Okay. Let's try one more time. We added a new feature yesterday, and you know what this means, which is L40S GPU. So you will see it later, which is very strong GPUs. And doesn't matter. Okay, so I will do the following. That's why I recorded the videos in the end.
Wouldn't be a live demo without some demo characters.
I cannot believe how often I have tried this today. But the thing is, just to explain you what we are doing and where these things come from. So we have one EC2 instance, okay? So which is kept for the user all the time. What I did in order to prepare this meeting, because this is a common scenario, you have a presentation which needs to work, right? And then, so I have two machines, because I'm a professional user, I'm not a normal end user of the platform. I have two virtual machines here started right now, one in Frankfurt and one in Ohio, right? Because the Ohio has the L40S machines. And let's just give this a try. So I will switch over to the Ohio machine. Why not? Try again with that one now. And then for every subsequent session, no matter if we start Unity training or Unreal application or Omniverse application, we use the same EC2 instance if the user is the same. So only on a user level for data protection reasons. And let's say if you start a lot of different applications, you need to make sure also that those applications are exited again and so on. And now as we are supporting Omniverse is quite a beast. Sometimes it's like making the state of the machines inconsistent. That's what we need to, that's our daily life. So we solve the complexity, which the end users do not want to have. And that's what our day-to-day business is all about. Okay, so now we're starting in the machine in Ohio, as you can see, on a L40S 4X GPU. It's a very expensive one. So now the AWS money printer is is rotating. No, just kidding. And it's a bit oversized for this application.
So is this the larger instance size because it's further away from you? Is that why that?
Yeah. So the L40S, I will come to this later when I explain the other use cases. The L40S is enabling use cases. So we support this we released it yesterday. So now, guys, I'm not giving up. I will try it again. Now, obviously, the latency is obviously way higher now because I'm in Frankfurt and not in. No, it's not liking me today. It's not liking me today, unbelievably. Okay, so.
You mentioned,
and there's one thing which we hopefully get rid of soon, which is Steam VR. So Steam VR is one of the technologies we are using. Like everyone who's in VR knows this a lot. Steam VR is something we hopefully can replace soon if Cloudix releases a new version, and then the Steam VR is not crashing anymore, which is it right now. So let me switch to the videos. Any questions in the meantime?
Looks like nothing from the chat, but I did have a question. You mentioned presentations before. Sorry about that. So you mentioned presentations. How many people can you put onto a stream at a single time? Is there an upper limit for that?
So every user has its own machine in the cloud, and this means that it's always one-to-one. And if you have a collaborative application, which is for 5, like a collaborative meeting for 5 people, they get 5 virtual machines. The reason is everyone has their own perspective, and everyone is running their own application client on it. That's why it's one-to-one. But there's obviously, as AWS has enough EC2 instances, there's no limit what you can have. And if you want to share your experience, you can just share your Chrome tab, because we're streaming all the applications in any case, always also in the browser, so people can watch. You will see this now in my video, which I will show you now.
So just to clarify on that, so you had 5 people that wanted to access the same stream. Are they joining the same project, or they're all getting an isolated version of that project? Like, is there a multiplayer component synchronized session? Is it
multiplayer is solved on the application level. So these are all the applications we support. There's many enterprises have developed their own Unity applications for training, but also for collaboration. And if the application supports multi-user, for example, if you use Photon as a developer, use Photon engine as a collaboration technology or multi-user technology, and build it into Unity or Unreal Engine, then you can launch the application in collaborative mode. I will show this to you in the next demo. And if it's not, then it's just used launched in single user mode. You will see this in the next demo then. But let's start with maybe automotive. So we have 3 different focus verticals. So first, I will address automotive use cases. Then I will address the use cases in AEC, so architecture, engineering, construction. Then I will address use cases in oil and gas. In automotive, I have demos with VR training. So VR training is most simple use case, but also challenging because you need to scale the creation of VR training applications. Also the second one is like design review. Design review is extremely critical, as I just said. So the automotive industry is under high pressure and needs to reduce the amount of physical prototypes they are producing in order to make decisions of how to plan the factory, how to build the product. And VR is just a great tool for that. And the third one is digital twins, which is a bit like a buzzword, but at the end it's just the holistic data which you can put into a XR scene or in the spatial computing scene in order to do whatever you want, which could be also training, could be design review, could be physical simulation, could be monitoring, whatever. And there we have a demo with Omniverse. And for the design review is by definition collaborative, and there you will see this in the video how this works.
We got one question from the chat of, are you able to stream to your Apple Vision Pro?
Yeah, that's the surprise I have for later on.
Stay tuned.
This will come soon. Stay tuned. I still want to keep the agenda.
Of course.
Of course, we're working on that. So it's I have a small teaser which I can show you later.
Awesome.
So yeah, any more questions?
That's all for now.
Okay, good. VR training, we have a few ecosystem partners which have solutions to address VR training. So Mindboard VR Builder is a great tool which we recommend to build a lot of different VR trainings, especially for automotive and manufacturing and logistics, for example, because the cost of creating a training simulation is quite high, because it's very it's a long tail of use cases and interactions. Every workplace is different. So what you can have with Mindboard is a low-code editor which plugs into Unity, and then you can just directly create like a training for VR without any coding skills, or at least very small coding skills. And the good thing is it's 100% customizable by code. So it's not a low-code tool which is limited in functionality. You can completely extend it. And then what you can do is, after you've created those things, you just make a Unity build, upload it to our platform, and then you can stream it into any headset without needing to worry if the headset is going to be supported by the developer. So I have here like an example which was created by LFX. LFX is a VR studio in Germany, which they're doing great work, using also Mindport. And LFX was happy to share us with this video they created for a customer in logistics and transportation. And so it doesn't look like a photorealistic digital twin, which is also not the ambition there. But think about 100 of those modules being created, being able to be created in a very short time without investing a huge pile of money to build those trainings. That's what Mindport does for you. And how this works is, and that is now, I'm not spending too much time because it's like very individual for every ecosystem partner. But in Unity, you can just create a visual like packing process, for example, by clicking and dragging and dropping and so on, and then you are there. If there are any questions specific to the ecosystem partners, just reach out to us. We will connect you to the partners, and then you can discuss with them directly, because there's probably not enough time in the show to go in detail there. I also am not expert in Mindport and the other tools. But the benefit
have one
yeah.
Quick question on the training part. So I noticed on your website that you mentioned that there's some general data and analytics you're able to capture for training purposes, which is when you're doing it through VR, which I never really thought about. If you do have VR training, not only is it just nice to be able to like replicate the training purpose for a lot of people, but you can get more like in-depth analysis, I presume, from the actions they take, how efficiently they're doing it, how quickly they can do it. What kind of features / ways are you able to help customers utilize that, I guess?
So we are not a training platform. So our main goal is to make sure that the people get access to the application, which was shared via our platform. So many of our, especially Mindport, not so much, but the other platform, Motive, which I will share later, they have a more sophisticated web-based platform, which is there to cover those use cases.
That's a fellow Howdy partner. We did a Motive episode.
Yeah, now we can put the link there. Perfect.
Check that out if you want to see that.
So, but in automotive, let's say Mindport and we have teamed up to scale via training at Volkswagen Group. That's why I have presented them there, and they are using both systems to roll it out across all the factories of Volkswagen Group. So I have also now, because you were asking about how to join a collaborative session. VRED Pro is the most standard advanced tool for making design reviews in VR. It's also the most expensive one, as far as I know. But it's used by almost everyone in the automotive industry. But the problem is that everyone needs to have a workstation for it, and expensive VR headset, which is tethered to the workstation. And that's the thing we are now changing. As you can see here, so if with our platform, you just get an invite to a meeting, similar like Teams, just get the link. You click on the link, and then the thing what I did just right now with the VR training application. So, and then the application just starts in the cloud, starts VRED, and you are part of the session. So now all the collaboration session thing is done in the background automatically. So the link which you clicked, make sure that all the people end up in the same collaboration session, if it was set up as a collaboration session. So now, as I was alone today, I have no collaborator in the session, unfortunately, but you can trust me, it's a collaborative session. And and I don't need a workstation for that part. And this is basically true for any application which is hosted on our platform. You can always share this via a link, and you can, depending on what type of data the application needs to start, like a meeting ID or like loading a special file, like a rewrite project, or if you build a Unity app which needs to load a specific chapter, you can just put this into the link, and then as a developer, and the link, you can generate the link, people can share the link, and then people can get access to directly jump into the state of the application where you want to have them.
Okay, that's cool. So it seems to me like it's kind of like joining a Zoom call or a Teams call.
That's the final goal, and we are not far away from it, to be honest. It's also now we have done our job, and now the application developers somehow need to be doing their job, and we are right now in working with customers who have their own Unity apps or Unreal apps to use our platform features to make that happen, and also working with partners like Cavernous, which I'm showing right now here, who are having a plugin for Unreal and Unity to make any scene collaborative with one click, and also supporting our streaming platform also with this link sharing feature. So Cavernous is, and this was actually always also a dream I had long time. I wanted to just have one click and drop, drag and drop tool to add sophisticated collaboration to my project as a developer, and then build a custom VR meeting room for my use case. I love this use case because like a VR meeting is really boring if you're not having the VR meeting within the object of interest, within, like, in front of your car, in front of your within your architectural visualization project, or build a VR meeting room to solve a specific problem during design phase of a factory. And that's what Cavernous is doing, and we partnered with them to bring the tool also to our ecosystem. And then finally, last but not least, we have Omniverse, which is many people have heard about it. It's a beast in positive sense. Omniverse has a new file format, which is OpenUSD, which is incredibly powerful because it's open. So compared to others which are proprietary, you can collaborate during the data preparation phase perfectly, or very good. At least the ambition is very high to make this work extremely good, and they were on a very good path there from NVIDIA. And it's physically accurate in terms of simulation capability, and it can leverage, obviously, because it's from NVIDIA, multi-GPU, and that's now we have a very good match with AWS, the new G6E instances, L40S, which are the most advanced GPU of NVIDIA. And there are even instances with 4 GPUs or 8 GPUs even available. So you can do whatever you want with Omniverse with those G6E instances. So now maybe this is the most urgent use case which you need to put in the cloud, because one of those workstations costs like a GPU with like a machine with 4 of those GPUs is easily at $60,000 and higher. So you do not want to put those under the user's desk at all. And on-demand GPU is a very powerful paradigm here. Omniverse, you want to see it?
Yeah, this one hits home for me. I'm actually at AWS. We have a Spatial Technical Advisory Council.
Yeah.
A subgroup of that focuses on NVIDIA Omniverse deployments on AWS. So definitely seeing the power of Omniverse, the collaborative nature using Nucleus and all of that good stuff, and the OpenUSD, as you mentioned as well. It's a new format that's maybe, who knows, maybe it'll take over as the go-to format one day, because I know in 3D there's all different kinds of files and formats, and hopefully one day we can all just join and choose the same one.
So, well, I could talk now probably 2 hours about Omniverse, which is not appropriate, but just don't underestimate it, but also don't overestimate it in the short term. So it's like almost all of our customers are looking at it right now because the promise is extremely high, and and I expect a lot of positive things in the future there. So if you have already, like I'm talking now to the audience, if people have made the first POCs with Omniverse, then and you have found a use case where you can use it in production, then probably the first user has a workstation, but then the other users who are target audience of that use case, they don't. So what we have created now for Omniverse is an extension which can create a sharing link. So this is the extension here. You can like install it in Omniverse from the community marketplace. You select and you can create a sharing link. Like this is the links I've been talking all the time, right out of Omniverse. And Omniverse has like this USD file format, also this Nucleus server. So a little bit fast. So and it automatically fetches the URL from the where the USD file is saved on the Nucleus server, and creates a sharing link which is pointing to our platform and telling the Omniverse kit runtime, so the renderer of Omniverse, to load that USD file for the user who clicks the link in the cloud, and stream it either to the browser or directly into VR. Because if a link needs to be generated somehow, obviously. So, and then now this is now the user who just clicks on the link in the calendar or in SharePoint, wherever, and then Omniverse starts for him in the cloud on AWS, obviously.
Thanks for mentioning that L40 GPU earlier. Definitely want to emphasize that that's newly available on AWS, like you mentioned, using our G6E instances. So just recently publicly available, I believe, in a few regions right now, and then more regions to come very soon.
Yes, so for now in the US, and latency from Germany or from other locations is obviously a bit high. So for browser streaming, not an issue, but for VR streaming, too high. Yeah, so as you can see here, this is the Omniverse USD Explorer, where people can just make a quick review in the browser, but they also can use the USD Composer, which is able to stream to VR. So now I create a link to stream to VR, and then same way people click the link, and then Omniverse starts directly with VR enabled and streams it into the Quest. This is Omniverse, and I have, as I promised, some update or teaser, no matter how you want to call it. And this is a video I have recorded yesterday in my living room, so please don't. This is now quick, private, intimate insights into the life of Innoactive CEO. And we do have, and this is not available yet. This is something we are working on right now. So stay tuned. But enjoy the show.
There it is, the one.
Yeah, you're probably the first one to see this right now. So as I have this beautiful Safari browser directly in there, I do not need to have my second device. I just log in to my account, and now I have my applications there, and we have here the like a prototype of an Omniverse XR streamer. We are happy NVIDIA partner, and they gave us early access to their beta of the streaming technology they are creating, and it's amazing, I have to say. It's obviously like a big task to create something like to stream with low latency to Apple Vision Pro, and now it's in this beta streaming from Omniverse.
So is this separate from Cloud XR? Is this specifically for Omniverse?
Yeah, it's can't provide too many details there. There will be probably soon an announcement, but this similar technology what was shown at at the GTC last time. But what you can see here now is that Omniverse is starting in the cloud. It's using Cloud XR Beta to stream into the Vision Pro, and the client uses the receiving part to receive the stream of the USD file. And here I have like a chat engine. It could be anything. Could be a oil rig with 40 million polygons. I don't care because I am streaming from the cloud. And this is actually, and I was completely amazed, this is streaming from North Virginia to my living room in Frankfurt.
Wow.
Yeah.
That looks great.
And with the really nice pass-through of the Vision Pro, I'm sure that looks extra immersive in there.
Yeah, it's a bit dark. It was late at night. I need to share this with my team. Yeah. So I just put this over there. Yeah. So this is what's coming for hopefully soon from our side. Then in regards to Apple Vision Pro, obviously our ambition is to stream also other applications than Omniverse. Let's see what the future brings. But this is now specifically made for Omniverse.
Very cool. That is awesome. And again, that model is not on your device. That project is not on your device. It's being streamed from the cloud. Is that right?
Exactly, yeah. And just because we are, again, the AWS show here, so we are using now the L40S 12X large instance for this, which has four L40S. There's unfortunately no GPU with only 2 of them, which would be more efficient because we are requiring exactly 2 GPUs for this. So we are just deactivating 2 of them, which is a bit of a shame, but for now at least. Yeah, and then we stream from there into the device. But latency is surprisingly good. It's still high, but the streaming technology is really, really good to accommodate for the latency. And obviously it's not, I wouldn't say it's production ready streaming from Virginia to Germany, but it's definitely good for testing. And in the US, there are 3 regions, I guess, or 4, I'm not sure, 3 or 4 regions of L40S in the US. Now, so in the US, it will be available first. And then later on, who knows what's gonna, if L40S will make the trip to Germany and to Europe as well. I hope so. So that was a quick teaser. Thank you for showing this in the banner, yeah. Any questions about that? If someone wants actually try this and is a serious enterprise customer, then just contact us. We can make a trial to stream your USD file or project or use case to the AVP or any other device, obviously.
Yeah, definitely want to emphasize that. If you yourself are an enterprise customer, or if you have an enterprise customer you're managing, reach out. You can reach out to one of us, Eli or myself, and we can get you connected, or reach out to Daniel directly. I believe we have a link as well to reach out to. So let me throw that into the chat now.
Yeah, so not sure if you can click in the chat. Probably the link can be clicked there, and if not, then just type it. It's not that complicated.
Yep, looks like we got it thrown into the chat right now. So yeah, click that link and reach out if you're interested. I know, be happy to chat more.
Great. Okay, now I see also the chat. Yeah, I just reading that. I just checked out Volkswagen Sensglove's demo on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to show. But yeah, this was one of the use cases where the Volkswagen used VR to actually train people to use a new technology like Sensglove, which is also one of the key use cases for VR. Make people familiarize with a new technology before they go into the field. So I would, if there are no more questions, I would go over to AEC and then later on to oil and gas, looking a bit at the time. I think we are okay, I guess.
Yeah, looks like no more
getting-
questions right now. So yeah, let's chat about AEC, which
Okay.
for the audience is architecture, engineering, and construction. Is that right?
Exactly.
Fantastic. We leave no industry unturned here. We're gonna hit them all.
Okay. So yeah, so AEC is let's say quite so the VR use cases are obvious. Visualize large things before they are there. Business-wise, what we have seen is that architectural visualization is huge, and it requires this also a lot of PCs for the end users. It's very difficult to run this only on a standalone VR headset. So VR is really critical, so people can immerse themselves into the future state of the building, and to also identify problems, like if there's a pilot somewhere which they did not think was there, so they will see it in VR way better than just on a plan or in 3D. But the architects, they don't want to use, they don't want to carry around a desktop workstation or like professional mobile workstation all the time. They want to just have a VR headset and give it to the customer, and that's it. So that's what we can show with Enscape. We have a use case like earlier in the process, which is BIM collaboration. So if you are if the construction company is or the architect is designing a building, like from a technical perspective with all the wires and pipes and so on, to ensure that the different participants of the project are having a good basis for communication. So they can just load any BIM model in VR and then render it on a PC workstation now with us in the cloud, and then stream it into the headset. And then we have a third one, which is even more flexible with Bentley Digital Twin. So Bentley is a very large, successful software company, and they have now a software to also have like use cases to load the complete digital twin of a facility. In this case, the demo I have is the ITER fusion reactor, and then with our platform stream this from the cloud into the VR headset again. So let me jump into it quickly. The Enscape, it's a bit boring because extra streaming benefit is always the same. Could have left it out. But I also want to quickly introduce the solutions. Enscape, I think, is known by the people very much in this field, so I don't need to introduce it a lot. But basically, you can load like Autodesk Revit data or ArchiCAD projects and then visualize them very quickly without being an expert photorealistically in real time. And how this looks like with Portal is very similar. So you just select an Enscape project, or you share a link again, stream it. Click the streaming button, and then surprise, it streams to the headset. So Enscape takes a bit long to load. I'm not sure why actually. Enscape. So these Enscape projects, they're executables which can be exported for sharing, and you can just upload them to our platform with in our application management system, and then make them available for the end users or for the customers. So now it starts in browser streaming mode like AppStream, but I can now, because I have my headset connected, I can just activate VR, and I'm in VR. That's, for example, one of the things we're doing with our application partners now. We are like pushing already a long time that they give us opportunity to launch VR directly. So Enscape, if you're listening, give us the opportunity to launch VR directly here. It will make the life of the users easier, but we will get there eventually.
Yeah, I think it's important to emphasize. It looks so easy, just you click the link, the stream loads and the project loads, but there's so much complexity going on in the background that you have all taken care of for the
every
users. So
day. Yeah.
I think it's really important to emphasize because it looks so easy. You upload the project, you click the link, and you click play, but there's a lot going on in the background that is making this thing go. It's really impressive.
Just want to quickly show you how this uploading process looks like. Just give me a second. So yeah, so if you are like an administrator, you can go to the control panel of our platform where we have that's something I should have maybe shown at the beginning. But now, as you have seen all those use cases, you maybe want to look a bit in the behind the scenes. So in our control panel, like the administrator or like content manager, they can see who is actually using the platform, which applications are being used, who are the most active users, or those kind of things, because you want to see if your VR rollout is successful at the end. So if there are no sessions, then there's no business value delivered. And then obviously there are all the different applications which are uploaded to the platform. And there you can just add application and just type XYZ. And then drag and drop your Enscape project there, or your zip file of a Windows VR project. And then it's going to be uploaded, and then you can share it with users. So you have all the users, you can just invite them to the platform by email, or you can like connect your single sign-on provider. Here in authentication, just select Azure AD, configure it, and the people can log in automatically. And then last but not least, you can configure cloud rendering. That's, I think, exciting for you guys as well, because there you can deactivate Google Cloud and Azure as an administrator. No, just kidding again. But you can, for example, also activate wavelength zones. If you want to, you can, yeah. And you can see which GPU types are available in which region. That's something you can define for each application. So if I go, for example, here for my, let's take the Omniverse streamer that we have. You go to cloud rendering, and then, okay, now this is not set up correctly. Definitely not running on a T4. So we need to have, what do we need to have? L40S4X GPU. And then it uses this in the future. But other applications were like this Unreal viewer might be fine with a 8-inch large, for example. So we have our this is like a bit like our own like GPU tier description. So we have a mapping. So 8-inch large is something like G5, 8X large, something like this. I don't know it directly now, but because we are multi-cloud, so we need also to have an equivalent on the other cloud hyperscaler, which is equivalent to a G5 8X large.
Do you recommend any instances when a user uploads the project, or should the user is the user expected to kind of have some knowledge and some expertise on which ones are the best?
To be honest, we automatically, by default, we always take T4 medium, and then if it's not enough, people just play around. What's the smallest one which is viable, or we consult them, we test it for them. This is usually the developer or like a technically inclined person who is uploading the app. But like the devil is in the details, so the application might need to have like communication with other servers. So you need to set up custom firewall rules for the application. You can do this here. This now for the more technically inclined people out there. Or the application needs authentication, actually, like Omniverse. If you start an Omniverse session which needs to connect to the Nucleus server, then you need to be able to authenticate there as an end user. These are all like topics we have solved not only for Omniverse, but for any application which needs authentication on the server, which is normally done on the client, popping up a browser window, asking for a single sign-on. This is now all possible, even if it's rendered in the cloud. Yeah, and then obviously you have all the sharing topics, so you can share the application with your users. You can even share the application with other organizations and so on. So there's a long list of topics what you can do. You can activate streaming encryption, what we have announced recently. So let me just do this now for our organization. So I force encryption here for all VR streams in order to be secure.
Yeah, that's really cool with the encryption. I'm assuming there's some of this of what you're showing here might be the answer, but what would you say makes Innoactive like different or differentiated from other application streaming solutions?
Yeah, I wouldn't say, well, it's honestly a bit difficult to write a label on it because like obviously we say we are an XR streaming platform, but what does platform mean? So we are not just a streaming solution. We have a solution to make sure that people can access and run the application without needing the hardware. So we have put all those things together in order to make that happen, and streaming is a part of it. So I think this is like, if you compare this to other solutions, then yes. So our content management system, what we have here, is extremely extensive. That's also where we come from. So this is heavily in duty at a lot of companies, and then we added streaming to it, and as we are coming from the VR side, obviously we have added VR streaming to it since now 3 years now, and also we make it enterprise ready. This means it's all encrypted. If you just take CloudXR out of the box, it's not encrypted. It's not ensured that people are authenticated for the stream. It's a great technology, but it's just a building block. And as companies like us, we combine building blocks, and probably our cloud orchestration is, I guess, the most powerful out there and the most flexible. You can run this in our SaaS. You can also run this on your AWS, for example, as a large enterprise. So you can run this on a virtual private cloud. So if one of your customers, if your consulting has IT compliance rules that they cannot use a SaaS product of a startup, they can host this on their own, buy a license from us. So short excursus, going back again now to my slide. So showing now VREX. VREX is a tool which is, as I mentioned earlier, great to load any BIM model from Navisworks, for example, into VR and have a collaborative session around it. But the problem is that this data is so huge that it cannot be rendered on a standalone VR device again. So that's why we have partnership with VREX to render VREX as their PC VR client or PC 3D client in the cloud and stream it to the browser. It leverages also the features we have. Let me show you how this looks like. So I have, again, like an invite to a VREX session. You want to have it as simple as Microsoft Teams or Zoom or whatever you prefer. You click the link, you're authenticated again, streaming to the Quest or to the browser. And maybe now, hopefully the audience doesn't get bored because it's always the same. It's actually a strength that it's always the same. I can't stress this enough. So the thing is, there are so many solutions out there, and every solution is different from a user journey perspective, which is clear because everyone tries to innovate and have the best user journey. But at the end, for the IT department, it's a nightmare if they have to deploy 5 or 6 like 10, 20, 50 different applications, and everything is working differently. The first level support is crazily difficult. And if you have a unified user journey across Unity, Unreal, Omniverse, VREX, Enscape, whatever you want to have in your organization, which is even easier than the original user journey, then I think, and requires less hardware invest, then you have a good basis for making decisions in this direction. So what you can do, what you see here, for example, is overlaying the BIM model with a point cloud scan, and then seeing if there are any deviations of reality versus plan. And the point cloud scans are quite huge. That's why cloud streaming is necessary. And this is also supporting collaboration, as I said, so people can just join and discuss, create some, like the platform has like VREX has features like annotations, versions, and they do bi-weekly meetings to assess the project progress. Usually also our customers, they have used several tools together on our platform. That's one of the things where we see, okay, they have some Unreal applications, some Unity applications. Now VREX is a great solution for solving this use case. So they start adopting more and more. And then also the synergies are getting bigger and bigger then. And last, yeah, please.
I wanted to touch on something that you mentioned earlier, which is running this as a SaaS on an Innoactive owned account or running this on your own AWS account. So if I'm an enterprise customer and I want to run this on my own AWS account, how do I get started with setting that up? Is it like, I know you're on AWS Marketplace. Is it a custom setup? How does that work?
Yeah, we don't have, our AWS Marketplace offering is SaaS. So we don't have one yet for self-hosted, but would be a good idea, actually. I will think about it. It currently is just that we make a trial with the customer on SaaS ideally, and then if they decide to go for it self-hosted, then we sign a deal. We can make a custom offer on AWS Marketplace for that, and then we help with the setup. So we have like setup scripts with Terraform and whatever. I'm not the CTO, so my Benedikt Reiser, a friend, like co-founder, will help the customer there to set it up, and then we did this a couple of times now, and then they can take this in their hand and give to their DevOps teams to manage the life cycle of the installation. It's obviously a bit like it's a custom thing. They need to do a bit more stuff than our SaaS, like ensuring that our platform has the permissions to start EC2 instances and so on. But takes also a bit of a while, usually in large enterprises, until this is done. Not because of us, because of the the necessary people which needs to be involved. But it's pretty straightforward.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So SaaS is more plug and play, just get started right away. Whereas, having it on your own infrastructure takes a little bit more of a custom build. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. So Bentley Systems. Quickly. Get started with the marketplace listing. Exactly. Just click on buy and let's figure it out then.
Yeah, throwing this marketplace link in the chat now. So if you want to click on that and check out Innoactive on marketplace.
So about Bentley Systems. So this is mainly interesting for Bentley customers. And people who want to use Bentley iTwin VR, and I mentioned the benefits many times again. So I will just show you how this was a video actually created by Bentley using our platform. So the user, this is a bit like fast because they had like ultra fast forward, but it's their VR client which is loading data from their PLM system or from their database. And this is this ITER research facility, a fusion reactor. And you can just have a complete fusion reactor on the go with your Quest. It's completely crazy. And need to iterate on it, make annotations as whatever the tool supports. And that's it for AEC. Obviously, this Bentley, you can also use it for in other industries. It's all a bit overlapping. It's not that this is only a architecture industry, construction industry. Also, oil and gas. That's why I have now VREX here again, because a lot of our oil and gas customers are using VREX for engineering and construction projects they have. So I will not talk about VREX again. If you want to know about VREX, just watch the recording earlier. But I want to introduce Motive, which is a bit similar like MindPort at the beginning, but we have a lot of customers in oil and gas and energy segment who are using Motive.io. So Motive.io is a great tool to also kickstart and scale the creation of VR training. It has very strong powers in LMS integration, and it's a platform, a web-based platform, which allows the people to update the trainings on the fly after they have been shipped, because there are often like small things which need to be changed or customized for the VR trainings or VR training applications. And let me show you how integration with Motive works. So guys, this is what our industry needs: ready-made integrations which are shipped with the different tools the company can buy. So Motive, which is another AWS partner. There's also this other Howdy partners talk, which you also can watch. It comes with the Innoactive integration. So this can be configured. And then after the configuration of the integration, you can go to your learning management system and just launch any VR application, a VR training. And then it's forwarded to Innoactive, to our Innoactive platform. The VR application is started and launched on the headset. And now that the result of the VR training is being written back to the learning management system, thanks to Motive, which is a specific topic, obviously, to learning, to training. So no one wants to have a learning management system for design review, but that's also what we obviously try to make happen with our ecosystem partners, to ensure that the integration of the VR application into the business processes is actually achieved. And then we have Sim2. Sim2 is a tool a bit similar to VREX, but more even more on point clouds. So it's a platform where you can just connect all your point cloud sources and aggregate the reality capture data on the cloud platform of Sim2. You can measure, annotate together in the browser, collaborate on it. And this is a really, really important use case for oil and gas, because you don't have any data of the facilities, right? You need to scan them. And this is not only oil and gas, this is also steel industry. Everywhere we have like a lot of installed base of facilities where you don't have any construction data. But you need to work with it. You need to extend, you need to rebuild the factory, you need to change it. So these point cloud use cases are getting more and more important. But the thing is, with point clouds, data is huge. Again, very good use case for cloud streaming. So that's what they do. So you have all the point clouds, which is considerably easy to do, to scan a facility, and then you can share it across the different locations via the Sim2 platform. And now the Sim2 VR application is again running on our platform and integrated as we speak, to ensure they're leveraging our platform features like single sign-on and link sharing. So that's it. Amazing. Exactly on time, I guess. So now I hope we have a lot of questions to wrap up.
Oh, I was muted. Classic. Yeah, hopefully all the different industries and verticals that we saw. Hopefully there's some folks in the audience there that work in some of those industries. Yeah, any questions from the audience? Don't be shy. We are here and ready to answer. And again, you can reach out to Daniel directly. So please do, fill out that form. Maybe you want to do it offline or ask more of an extensive question. Definitely utilize that form that we threw in the chat there earlier to reach out.
So you can also if you want to share my personal LinkedIn, you can just share it as well. If people want to connect directly with me,
yes, definitely.
So
let's throw that in there as well.
No reasons to not connect on LinkedIn.
All right. So yeah, very cool. It's funny because I mentioned this earlier. It looks so simple, it's as easy to do as just visiting a Zoom call or a Teams call or something like that. But as someone in Spatial that does a little bit of prototyping with streaming, each of these different applications has their different streaming protocols. Unreal Engine with their pixel streaming, Unity with their render streaming, and all of that. So to take it all into one place and make it that simple is really impressive. Maybe it's not, you can't see it because it's all behind the scenes, but it's super, super impressive that you've made it that easy for users to do real-time 3D streaming.
Yeah, there's maybe one thing which I should have mentioned is that in most cases, the application doesn't need to be adapted, or changed or altered. So it can be just uploaded. If it runs locally on a PC with OpenXR, then it also will run in the cloud. So there's no SDK which need to be added to the app. That's also why we support Autodesk, Revit, Professional, or Enscape, because the applications just, as we are using CloudXR, they just work out of the box. You can change them if you want to use our platform features to make it more seamless, but you do not have to.
Yeah, the list of solutions that you connect with is really impressive. That was quite the list there. Hopefully some folks in the audience are using some of those applications today, the Unreals, the Unities, Enscape, Omniverse, all of that. It was a long list of different solutions that you stream from.
Yeah, the list is getting longer and longer because the customers tell us they want to stream this application, that application, and then the more specific an application gets and the more complex, obviously we want to integrate them better to ensure that if a new customer comes to us, they can just they get a growing list of pre-integrated technologies, and which reduces their risk of integrating them on their own. That's how we think the spatial computing needs to be democratized, because the larger enterprises, the largest ones, they have the power to customize everything and to do everything on their own. But this is only for the first ones. So the mass market needs to have pre-integrated technologies, and that's why I like Omniverse so much, or these OpenUSD, because it's giving standards to the different participants. But it also obviously is change. So, but eventually it's the right direction.
Definitely. So yeah, if there's no more questions from the audience, Daniel, any final remarks before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think seeing is believing. So sorry for this issue with my demo earlier. I have no idea what this. Probably it will work now, but I will not try. Otherwise, I will freak out if it's still not working. No. If you want to, seeing is believing. If you have a use case, if you have an own application which you want to scale, I think that's important. If you don't want to scale any XR use case, then we have no no reason to no value to create. But if you have a use case to scale, and this is either streaming can be facilitated by streaming to the browser or streaming to VR or both eventually, or even many of those use cases, especially if you are from IT and have different departments which are targeting you with demands to scale their applications, and you need to bring this all under one umbrella, then we have a great solution for you. And you can try. We have a 4-week trial, free trial, no problem. You can try everything in detail, and also try the features to scale with different AWS regions, test this with different locations. Usually, that's a big concern that the people want to know if streaming is actually working for all their important locations. That's what we also offer in the trial.
Fantastic. Yeah, that list of locations was long. You're touching all those regions. Well, all right, Daniel, thank you so much for being on the show. That was an awesome set of demonstrations there. And also thanks a lot for that Apple Vision Pro surprise demo. That was awesome. We'd love to see that. Yeah, and thank you for being a partner as well. We really value having Innoactive as an AWS partner.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, really.
And to the audience, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks for listening. Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something. Reach out to Daniel. Reach out to the folks at Innoactive, or check them out on AWS Marketplace. And we'll be here every Wednesday. We got another spatial computing related episode next Wednesday, so be sure to tune in. All right. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye.